Let's move on to fantasy football. FanDuel and DraftKings head to court today to dispute New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman's request to shut down the sites in the state. The Attorney General claiming that fantasy sports is just gambling, period. Gaming and sports law attorney Daniel Wallach will be attending that court hearing, and he joins us now. Dan, you're going because this is a fascinating story, and it really... What do you expect to happen today, and what happens to these two daily fantasy sports sites here in New York State?
Both sides are asking the court to force the other side to either declare fantasy sports illegal gambling in New York. So the Attorney General is asking Judge Manuel Mendez to issue a preliminary injunction to shut down these sites in New York. Conversely, FanDuel and DraftKings are asking the same judge to declare their contests skill and not illegal gambling. So there are dueling motions, and I would expect a decision, if not by the end of the day today, certainly within 1 to 2 weeks.
Is there any way to know how the judge rules on this?
I suspect that the New York standard for what constitutes gambling is a very low threshold compared to most states, which require a predominance of chance.
Right.
New York only requires that chance be material, or alternatively, that the bettors or the contestants exercise no influence or control.
Right. There's just you only need to prove basically that there's some luck involved in it, correct? Right?
That it's not insignificant, that it rises to the level of being important.
Isn't there an element of hypocrisy here from a state which, like many states, uses lottery sales and lottery cards to a great extent to raise revenue itself? Isn't that gambling?
Oh, that's definitely gambling, but the state legislature made a policy choice, as it did with casino gambling, the lottery. All these forms of activities which constitute arguably gambling have been legislatively authorized, and they're regulated, just like stock investment.
This is about control. The state wants to control our fantasy sports.
Not necessarily.
They want to the state wants to outlaw it, right?
So they want to say that this is a game of skill. That's the argument from FanDuel and from DraftKings. And isn't it true that a very small portion, like 1% of people playing on these sites win almost 90% of the time? So they're winning almost all the money. So doesn't that translate to a game of skill versus a game of chance?
Well, the focus of the industry has been on so much skill, but the test under New York law is what role does chance play, not how much skill there is. Undoubtedly, there is a tremendous amount of skill required to play fantasy football, but that does not foreclose a material amount of chance, which would trigger the illegal gambling violation.
If the ruling goes against FanDuel and DraftKings here in New York State, does it put them out of business?
Not nationwide. The Attorney General's action just affects New York State.
Do you think other states follow suit,
Potentially. There are 8 other states, New Jersey among them, Washington State, Hawaii, Alaska, 8 other states that have the same exact test as New York. And New York being the financial capital of the world, the banks, payment processors, credit card processors, and the sports leagues are going to be paying close attention to this outcome.
Right. I want to just point out Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones have stakes in the DraftKings, and the owners' meeting is next month. And will they be forced to do something with those stakes? And 21st Century Fox, which is the parent of this network, also owns a stake in DraftKings. We should point that out. Daniel, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. Have a great, keep us posted. Email us, let us know.
I will.
Here at Fox
we could be
Business
hours away from a decision.
Thank you so much, Dan Wallach.